is related to the frequency response analysis of control system. Okay. So in the second unit, we have done the time domain analysis, right? So in time domain analysis, we finded out some timing parameters like rise time, then delay time or settling time. Okay. So those parameters in time domain tells that the speed of operation of control system, right? Okay. How much time it will take to reach to steady state value, or is there any oscillations in the output? Like that way, time response parameter indicates about the control system. So what is the need of frequency response? Can anyone tell me frequency response analysis? Why we do the frequency response analysis? Have you done this analysis? Anyone? Okay, so we do the frequency response analysis uh, to understand some frequency domain parameters, right? Okay, for example, if you take any amplifier, right? So, for example, this is the amplifier. It is having some input, some output, right? Okay. Now, I am applying different frequency signal to the input side, okay? And I am observing the output, okay? So for example, if I want to amplify any audio signal or any radio frequency signal, okay? So as you know that radio frequency signal and audio frequency signals having a different frequency range, okay? Or if you take, if you want to use this amplifier in satellite application, or if you want to use this amplifier in consumer application, as you know that input frequencies are different, okay? So input frequencies are different, so you should know the for which frequency this particular amplifier gives better gain, right? So that is the main requirement here. If you want to find out that if I apply audio frequency signal to this particular amplifier, I should get good output, right? For that particular, if that is an audio amplifier, or if that is a radio frequency amplifier, or if you use that in satellite communication. So according to the applications, right, the frequency ranges are different, right? So amplifiers are also differently designed for a different applications. Okay, so like this way, like a frequency domain parameters like a bandwidth, gain, resonant frequency. Okay, so you can't determine this using time response analysis, right? If you want to determine these parameters, and if you want to analyze the system on these parameters, you will require a frequency response analysis, right? Frequency domain analysis of any control system, right? That's why the fourth unit is related to the frequency response analysis of a control system. Okay, just a minute. Um, I'm just opening the open board to display the marker. Okay, now is this marker visible on screen? Whatever I am, the red color marker. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why we do the frequency response analysis of any control system. So what is the difference between the Fourier transform and Fourier series? Can anyone tell me? What is the difference between Fourier series and Fourier transform? Okay. So if you want to do now you consider this x of t as an impulse response of a control system. Okay. What is mean by impulse response? Okay, so this is the impulse response of the control system, that is x of t is equal to e raised to minus 2t u of t. Now, if I want to do the frequency domain analysis of this control system, I will take a Fourier transform of it, right? Okay, so if I take a Fourier transform, I got x of j omega is equal to 1 upon 2 plus j omega. Now in the frequency response analysis, there are two main spectrums. The first one is the magnitude spectrum and second one is the phase spectrum, right? Okay. So how to calculate the magnitude of the complex number, as you know that, right? So magnitude of this particular function is x of j omega is equal to 1 upon square root of omega square plus 4. Okay. So this is the magnitude spectrum. And if you look at the magnitude spectrum of this particular uh, impulse response, this particular system, so this spectrum is even in nature. Why this is even in nature? Because this is a real signal, right? X of t is a real signal. It is not a complex signal. It is a real signal. That's why it is even. So now, what is the significance of the magnitude spectrum? Why we just calculate the magnitude at different frequencies and we draw the spectrum? So the main reason is that if you see at omega is equal to 0 at DC frequency, you are getting a better gain, right? So what I will do, I will operate this control system. If I want to achieve maximum gain, I will operate this particular control system at omega is equal to 0, means at DC frequency, right? At DC. So here you can see at DC I am getting a maximum gain. So that is the significance of the magnitude spectrum. So what is the significance of the phase spectrum? Okay, so what is the significance of the phase spectrum? Can anyone tell me? Am I audible properly? Because I'm not getting any response from your side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what is the use of phase spectrum? For example, if you delay some signals, now the control systems like any control system, if you take an amplifier, right? Okay, as soon as you apply the input to the input side, you will not get output at output side instantaneously, at simultaneously, right? There is some delay because all practical systems take uh, time to produce that particular output, right? So there will be the delay between input and output, the time delay. So in time domain, we talk about the delay, but in the frequency domain, we talk about the phase, right? So time delay in the time domain will be equivalent to the phase in the frequency domain, right? If you see the phase spectrum of this particular control system, as you know that here there is a no zero, so you just need to take an angle of this particular pole, right? So that will be minus tan inverse omega by 2. So this will be the angle of uh, this particular control system or phase spectrum of this particular control system. Now, if you see the phase spectrum of control system, this is odd in nature because signal is real. That's why magnitude spectrum is even in nature, and the phase spectrum in odd phase spectrum is odd in nature, right? So that's why we do the frequency domain analysis of any control system. Now, if the transfer function is given and you just need to find out the frequency response from that particular transfer function. So what you will do, as we know that, so can you tell me, uh, ठीक है, have you completed a signal system? Means how many units are completed in signal system? Okay. So h of s is the transfer function. Okay, and you want to calculate, if you want to find out the frequency response of the control system. So what you will do, you will replace s by j omega. Okay, so that will give you the frequency response of that particular control system. So it consists of magnitude and phase response. Okay. In the second unit, we have seen some examples on this particular problem. Like this is a LTI system, linear time invariant system, and as you apply the signal A sine omega naught t to this, and if you observe the output, there is no frequency change, but amplitude change is there, right? So amplitude and phase change is there. So what is a magnitude? What is the magnitude of this LTI system? That is mod of h of j omega. And what is the phase? Angle of h of j omega, right? So these two quantities, if you apply this particular signal to this LTI system, so if you want to find out the magnitude of the output, that will be b is equal to a into mod of h of omega naught. Okay, an angle will be directly get added into the phase of the input signal, because phase of the input signal is 0 here, so that angle will be directly added into output signal, right? Input signal. So in output signal you will observe that phase. Okay, so we have seen example on this also in second unit. So like this way, on a magnitude and phase LTI system effect, okay, of any input signal. So now there are different frequency response analysis technique to analyze the control system. Like Nyquist plot is there, polar plot is there, or Bode plot is there. Okay, so we will start with Nyquist plot. Okay, so have you got the idea why we do the frequency response analysis? Have you got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So let us start with the Nyquist plot. Sorry, first we will start with polar plot and then we will go with Nyquist plot. Okay. So in polar plot, we plot the open loop transfer function on polar plane. Okay. So in polar plot, even if you take a polar plot, Nyquist plot, or Bode plot, okay. So all these three systems operate on an open loop transfer function. What is mean by open loop transfer function? That is the g of s into h of s, right? So this is the open loop transfer function. Transfer function, we determine the closed loop system stability. Okay. And hello, am I audible? Sorry, the net got disconnected. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it will be used to find out the closed loop system stability. Now, so as you know that in polar plane, so this is the polar plane. So this is a real part of GH, that is open loop transfer function, and this is this axis is the imaginary part of GH. Okay, and you are seeing these angle lines here like 30 degree, 60 degree. This blue color line represents the angle, and this red color circle radius represent the magnitude. So from this point to this point, the radius of this circle represent the magnitude, and this on this particular polar plane we draw the polar plot. Okay, so as you know that open loop transfer function is given, there is only one pole. So first convert this into frequency domain, put S is equal to j omega. So g of j omega into h of j omega will be equal to 1 upon 1 plus j omega t. Okay. So calculate the magnitude and the phase. So magnitude will be 1 upon square root of 1 plus omega square into t square, and phase will be minus tan inverse omega t. Now after finding out these formulas for magnitude and phase, in polar plot we vary the omega, that is a frequency, from 0 to infinity. Okay, and we observe that change in the GH. Okay, and we plot it on this particular polar plane. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind the polar plot. We vary the frequency from 0 to infinity. We calculate the magnitude and phase. Okay, and just observe the effect on polar plane. So let us see one example first, so you will get idea how to draw the polar plot. Okay, so step by step you will go, so you will get an idea about that. So draw the polar plot for the open loop transfer function 1 by S. Okay, so first I have replaced S by j omega here. So I got this transfer function in frequency domain 1 upon j omega. So if you calculate a magnitude of it, it will be 1 by omega, right? And if you just calculate the phase of it, it will be minus 90 degree, right? Okay. So what is the meaning of this angle minus 90 degree? Means for any frequency, you will get a phase difference of minus 90 degree. The system open loop transfer function will introduce a phase difference of minus 90 degree. Okay, and magnitude is 1 upon omega. So after finding out the magnitude formula and the phase formula, we will just vary the frequency from 0 to infinity. So if you put omega is equal to 0 here, you will get a magnitude infinity, right? And phase is minus 90 degree for all the frequencies. So we have just noted down the phase. Okay. If you put omega is equal to 1 into this magnitude formula, you will get that is 1. Similarly for 2.5 or 5.2. And if you put omega is equal to infinity, you will get a magnitude 0. Okay. Now, if you see this particular magnitude and phase, the phase is constant for all the frequencies, and as you increase the omega, that is a frequency, the magnitude of this particular response, this particular control system is decreased, right? Okay, so let us draw this on a polar plot. So as you know that phase angle is minus 90 degree and this axis is minus 90 degree, right? This particular axis will be minus 90 degree. 270 degree means minus 90 degree. So the first point where omega is equal to 0, magnitude is infinite. So we consider that. So that is, it is started from the magnitude infinity. Okay. So we just plot the finite values on this. So here you can see this outer circle is having the radius 1. After that, this inner circle is having the radius 0.5, and this inner circle is having the radius 0.2. Okay, so if omega is equal to 1, magnitude is 1. So I am putting this point here. Okay, omega is equal to 1, magnitude is 1. Okay. Now, if omega is equal to 2, magnitude is 0.5. So 0.5 radius circle is this. So I am putting one point here. Okay, when omega is equal to 5, magnitude is 0.2. So I am putting a magnitude here at this point. So like this way, if you increase the omega, magnitude is going to decrease, and at omega is equal to infinity, we are getting a magnitude 0. Okay, so here this point will be magnitude 0 point. So at omega is equal to infinity, you will get a magnitude 0. Means polar plot will be on this particular minus 90 degree axis, right? As you increase the frequency, the magnitude is getting decreased. Okay, so this is the polar plot. So what is the step? If the open loop transfer function is given, replace s by j omega, find out the magnitude, find out the phase, vary the omega from 0 to infinity. So this is the exact method to draw the polar plot. Okay. So have you understood? Any doubt here? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. Because after this, all concept is based on this polar plot and all these things only. Have you understood this point? Any doubt here if you want to ask? Hello? Can we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us see the second example. So now here we need to draw the polar plot for this transfer function. So here a finite pole is there. So replace s by j omega, find out the magnitude. So that will be 1 upon omega square root of omega square tau square plus 1. The phase will be minus tan inverse omega tau. So after finding out the magnitude and phase here, we just vary the omega from 0 to infinity, and we just calculate the magnitude from omega is equal to 0 to infinity, and also the phase. Okay, so at omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 1. So this is an angle is 0 degree. Okay, so this is the point where omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 1, and angle is 0 degree. At omega to y tau, magnitude is 1 by root 2. Okay, so if I say that the radius of this particular circle is 1 by root 2, and at that point angle is minus 45 degree. Okay, so this angle is minus 45 degree. This particular line is representing the minus 45 degree angle line. Okay, so magnitude is 1 by root 2, angle is minus 45 degree. So if I increase the omega, so for a 2 by tau, magnitude will be 1 by root 5. Okay, so if we consider this inner circle is having the radius 1 by root 5, and at that point angle is minus 63.43. So this point. Okay, so like this way, if you increase the omega, magnitude is going to be decreased, right? Okay, so at omega is equal to infinity, magnitude will be 0. So at omega is equal to infinity, magnitude will be 0, and angle will be minus 90 degree. So you can see that this is a minus 90 degree line. Okay, so at omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 0, and sorry, at omega is equal to infinity, magnitude is 0, and angle is minus 90 degree. So if I write here, so angle is minus 90 degree at omega is equal to infinity. Okay, so like this way, you can see that this polar plot is started from magnitude 1 where angle is 0 degree and end at magnitude is 0 where angle is minus 90 degree. So like this way, clockwise polar plot is there. Okay, so like this way you can draw the polar plot. Now if you see this particular polar plot, this is the tail of the polar plot, and this is the head of the polar plot. Okay, so this is the tail, this is the head of the polar plot. Now let us see the example where 1 0 is there and one pole is there. Okay, Okay, so here the open loop transfer function is given. There is a 0 at -1 and there is a pole at -10. Just replace s by j omega. So in the frequency domain, you will get this. And if you calculate a magnitude, that will be square root of omega square plus 1 upon square root of omega square plus 100, right? Okay, magnitude of the complex number. Then phase will be tan inverse omega minus tan inverse omega by 10. Angle of 0 minus angle of pole. Angle of 0 minus angle of pole. Okay. Now vary the omega from 0 to infinity. So we have varied the omega from 0 to infinity, calculated the magnitude and calculated the phase. Okay, so at omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 0.1, angle is 0 degree. So if you see this point as a 0.1, so this point as a 0.1, where this axis is a 0 degree axis, right? So at omega is equal to 0, the magnitude is 0.1, angle is 0. When omega is equal to 1, magnitude is 0.141 and angle is 39.29. So at omega is equal to 1, so at the next point where angle is 39.29, so that will be like this. So this point, okay, the second. So at this magnitude is 0.141 and angle is 39.29 degree. And when omega is equal to 2, the magnitude is 0.22 and angle is 52.12. So this point. Okay. So if you increase the omega, so you will just observe that at omega is equal to infinity, we are getting a magnitude 1 and angle is 0 degree, means this point. Okay. So like this way, first it will amplitude will increase and then first like this way the angle will increase and then angle will decrease. Okay, but magnitude is increased for all these particular frequency points. Okay, so now this is the head of the polar plot and this is the tail of the polar plot. So at this point omega is 0, magnitude is point. At this point omega is 0, magnitude is 0.1 and angle is 0 degree. And at this point magnitude is 1, angle is 0 and omega is equal to infinity. So like this way clockwise polar plot you can see here. So as you know that there are infinite frequency points. So if you want to calculate exact polar plot for any system, that will be time consuming. Okay, so we need to draw the approximate polar plot for any control system. So while even if you draw the approximate polar plot, it will give the clear indications about the system performance in the frequency domain. Okay, so I think you got the idea how to calculate a polar plot here. Okay, so now there is a shortcut method. You can apply that particular shortcut method in MCQ type questions just to verify the answer. Okay, so I will discuss about the shortcut technique here. Any doubt up to this point? Can we proceed? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Hello. Okay. Okay then. Let us see that procedure, so that only this procedure can be applied when you want to verify. You can apply for a subjective kind of exam. You can just follow this procedure, means this procedure, where you can find out the magnitude, phase, and just find out the frequency, magnitude at each frequency and phase, like this way approximately. Okay, and for the MCQ type of questions, you can just verify your answer by following this procedure. Okay, so this is the shortcut technique I am telling you here, so that you can solve the problem within minimum time. Okay, so let us see the first step. So first step is that you need to find out the m1 and pi1 at omega is equal to 0. Means you need to find out the magnitude and phase at omega is equal to 0 from the transfer function, open loop transfer function. Second point is what? You need to calculate a magnitude and phase at omega is equal to infinity. Okay, so these two are the first steps. So you need to calculate a magnitude at omega is equal to 0 and then omega is equal to infinity. Okay. Now, if you see this polar plot, now if I say this is the ending direction of the polar plot and this is the starting direction of the polar plot. So can you tell me ending direction is a clockwise direction? Here you can see here ending direction is clockwise and here starting direction is also clockwise. Okay, so this is the head and this is the tail of the polar plot. So ending direction is related to the head and starting direction is related to the tail. Okay, so if you want to find out the approximate polar plot, you just need to determine the ending direction, starting direction. That is very important because sometimes here we have seen that we have just calculated this magnitude for three finite points here, omega is equal to 0, 1, 2. To infinity, we just approximated it. Okay, here you can see we haven't calculated there may be a condition or there may be a situation where this particular polar plot, if I just, there are the possibilities, right? For example, okay, so if this polar plot will, use this color, if this polar plot is starting like this and if it is going like this and then it will at omega is equal to what, at omega is equal to infinity, this will be like this. This may be the condition, right? This may be the condition. Is it right or wrong? This may be the condition. I don't know about the magnitude between two to infinite frequencies. I just approximated like this. Okay, but this may be the condition, right? Are you getting the point? But what is the ending direction here? Can anyone tell me what is the ending direction here in this polar plot? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? Are you listening? Are you listening this? Okay. Shubham, what is the ending direction here? Can you tell me here? What is the ending direction? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Sir, is it clockwise?
No, anti-clockwise.
Anti-clockwise, sir. Negative.
Anti-clockwise. Okay. So if you see this particular polar plot, here the starting direction is clockwise and ending direction is also clockwise. Okay. So what I am saying here, I am not getting response. I am not getting that you are getting or not. Okay. If I say distance from this concept is important, no? Otherwise, if you see from origin to this distance, okay, this is a 1, right? Okay, so this distance is also 1. So I am saying that I haven't calculated magnitude and phase from omega is equal to 2 to omega is equal to infinity. I just approximated this polar plot like this. Okay, so there may be the possibility that polar plot will first like this also is the possibility here, right? But what I am saying, what is the difference between these two plots? That here ending direction is anti-clockwise, okay, and here ending direction is clockwise. Similarly, here starting direction is clockwise. Definitely here starting direction is clockwise. Okay, so like this way there is a, you need to find out the starting direction and ending direction. That is very important. Okay, so that is a third step. So what is the third step in the procedure? This particular technique you can apply in MCQ type of questions. I am telling again and again. Okay, for a subjective kind of exam, you just need to follow this approach. I'm just, for a competitive exam, I'm telling this point. Okay, but this will be very helpful. Within few minutes, within few seconds, you can solve the example. Okay, so we need to find out the ending direction and the starting direction of the polar plot. Okay, so how to find out the ending direction? So as we know, the pi1 is a phase at omega is equal to 0 and pi2 is a phase at omega is equal to infinity. Okay, so pi1 minus pi2. So it will give you the positive, if it gives the positive angle, then the ending direction will be clockwise. Okay, or if it gives the negative angle, the ending direction will be anti-clockwise. Okay, so ending direction you can calculate like this, you can find out like this. The step number 3. The step number 4, you need to find out the starting direction. How you will find out the starting direction? As you know, you have an open loop transfer function with you. Okay, if any finite pole lies near to imaginary axis, finite pole, okay, finite, which is lies near to imaginary axis, then starting direction is clockwise. Okay, if finite 0 is near to the imaginary axis, then the starting direction is anti-clockwise. Okay, so we got in 4 step we got the polar plot. Okay, the first step is what? At omega is equal to 0, I'm just finding the magnitude and phase, and at omega is equal to infinity, also I'm finding the magnitude and phase. If I want to calculate the ending direction, I will just take a difference of phase. So if difference of phase is positive angle, I will take ending direction clockwise. If difference of phase is the negative angle, I will take ending direction anti-clockwise. And starting direction, if a finite pole lies near to origin, then starting direction is clockwise. If finite 0 is near to imaginary axis, then starting direction is anti-clockwise. Okay. Now, main one note here. This above technique is valid only when magnitude at omega is equal to 0 is greater than or equal to magnitude at omega is equal to infinity. So whatever the technique I have told you, this is valid only when the magnitude at omega is equal to 0 is greater than or equal to magnitude at omega is equal to infinity. Means which kind of filter is this? Which kind of filter is this? Low pass filter, no? Got it? Magnitude at omega is equal to 0 is greater than or equal to magnitude at omega is equal to infinity. Low pass filter. Okay, so you just remember this condition, because most of, even if they give problem, that will be related to the low pass filter only. So if I say this is omega, right? This is the magnitude axis and infinity. So here magnitude at omega is equal to 0 is greater than the magnitude at omega is equal to infinity. Because most of the practical systems are low pass filters, low pass systems. Okay, so this technique is valid for that particular condition, and otherwise you can apply a standard procedure. You can just find out those magnitude at each and every frequency, but normally all the systems are this only low pass filter. So you can apply this shortcut technique. Okay, so just verify it once so that you can apply this technique. Okay, so have you understood the procedure to draw the polar plot? Shortcut technique to draw the polar plot? Yes or no? Can you proceed? I'm not getting any response. Huh? Can you proceed? Any doubt here? You can ask me. Okay. Hello? Any doubt here? Okay. You are not responding at all. I must say that in overall this control system subject, that particular Nyquist plot and all those concepts are difficult. Okay, you can't just solve the problems by. And it is difficult. If you want to score good marks, or if you want to score good marks in competitive exam, or if you want to understand this subject clearly, you should know this concept very well. Don't know your. Okay, so let us see this example one. So here we will apply a shortcut technique. So you need to draw the polar plot for this open loop transfer function. Okay. So which will be 1 upon s plus 1. So there is a pole at -1. So similarly, magnitude and phase you have calculated. Okay. Formulas you have calculated what is the magnitude and what is the phase. Now let us apply our shortcut technique. The first step, find out the magnitude at omega is equal to 0. Okay. Find out the magnitude at omega is equal to 0. So if I put omega is equal to 0 in this magnitude formula, so I will get magnitude 1. Okay. If I put omega is equal to 0 in this phase formula, so I will get phase will be 0. Okay. Step 2, find out the magnitude at omega is equal to infinity. At omega is equal to infinity, magnitude is 0. Magnitude is 0 and phase is -90 degree. So if you put tan inverse infinity is what? 90 degree. This is a -90 degree, right? Okay. So 2 steps are done. We have find it out at omega is equal to 0 and omega is equal to infinity, these magnitudes. Then the ending direction we need to find out. Okay. So ending direction means what? The difference between the phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 is omega, phase at omega is equal to 0, and phase 2 is omega is equal to infinity, at omega is equal to infinity. So 0 minus 90 degree will be plus 90 degree. So here positive angle is there. So I will take ending direction clockwise, right? Now starting direction. So starting direction is dependent on the pole location and 0 location. There is only one pole, right? So that is also near to the imaginary axis. So that will be -1, right? Okay. So, so starting direction will be clockwise, right? So ending direction is clockwise, starting direction is clockwise. Let us draw the polar plot. So at omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 1 and angle is 0. So this will be 0 degree angle line. And at this point magnitude is 1. Okay. And at omega is equal to 0, magnitude is 0, but angle is -90. So this is a -90 degree line. So this is the end point. Okay. So this is the head of the polar plot and this is the tail of the polar plot. Okay. So here you can see ending direction is also clockwise, starting direction is also clockwise. So polar plot direction is clockwise. Okay. So like this way you can just draw the polar plot. So now you just have you understood this point? Mihir, have you understood this point? So, 1 second. 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 1 sec Avantika? Is Avantika there in meeting? Have you understood these points? Sandeep?
Yes, sir.
Okay, ठीक है. So can you draw the polar plot for this transfer function? There are two poles, okay, s plus 1 and s plus 2. So at minus 1 and minus 2. So you just draw the polar plot for this and just take a screenshot of just take a picture of it and put it in chat box, okay? So I will give you here 3 minutes, okay? So you just solve this. Draw the polar plot for. So all of you just solve this. I will give you 3 minutes. Okay, so have you solved it? Has anyone tried to solve that? Okay. So let us see. So there are two finite poles, one at -1, one at -2. So here we can see first we converted that into frequency domain. We find out the magnitude and phase. Okay. So first step is that find out the magnitude at omega is equal to 0. So if I put omega is equal to 0 in magnitude formula, I will get a magnitude 0.5. And if I put omega is equal to 0 in phase angle formula, I will get a phase 0. Similarly, at infinity, magnitude is 0, phase is -180 degree. So step 1, step 2 is completed. We need to find out the ending direction. So ending direction is the difference between phase 1 and phase 2. That is 0 minus 180. So that will be 180 degree. So that is a positive angle. So ending direction will be clockwise. And as we know, there is a finite pole near to the imaginary axis. So starting direction will be also clockwise. Okay. So now you see this point is at this point magnitude is 0.5 and angle is 0. This is a 0 angle line, right? Okay. So this is at this point magnitude is 0.5 and phase angle is 0. At omega is equal to infinity, magnitude will be 0 and phase angle will be -180 degree. Okay, so this is a -180 degree line. Okay, so at this point magnitude will be 0 but angle will be -180. So I'm ending this particular polar plot at this location. Okay, because this is a -180 degree line, right? So like this way the ending direction and starting direction are same, so this will be like clockwise polar plot. But what is the difference between the previous polar plot and this polar plot? Here the ending angle was -90 degree. Now if you see this polar plot, here ending angle is -180 degree because we have added one finite pole. So what conclusion we can draw here? Addition of each finite pole in a transfer function shift the head angle by -90 degree in the clockwise direction. So in the previous problem, the head angle was -90 degree. When we add the finite pole into the transfer function, we got the phase angle shift by -90 degree. So here the head angle is now -180 degree. Okay, so that is a conclusion here. Now here you can see that at 90 degree axis this polar plot is intersecting, right? So if you want to find out the frequency at this point, because at this point omega is equal to 0, as we vary the omega, magnitude changes, similarly the phase changes, right? Okay, so if you want to find out the intersection of polar plot with the -90 degree axis, how you will find? So you will just use the angle condition. So as we know that angle formula is minus tan inverse omega minus tan inverse omega by 2. So you just put angle -90 degree here, okay, and just calculate the value of omega. So here I have what I have done, tan inverse A plus tan inverse B is equal to tan inverse A plus B upon 1 minus AB, okay, and just we find it out that frequency at that point will be √2 radian seconds, okay. So omega will be √2 radian per second at this point, okay, and if you just find out the magnitude at that point, that will be 1 upon square root of 18, and we just find out phase is -90 degree because this is a -90 degree line, right? Okay, so the polar coordinates will be 1 upon √18 into -90 degree. and the rectangular coordinates will be 0, and the imaginary part will be 1 upon root 18 because real part is 0, so that will be the magnitude, right? Imaginary part will be the magnitude, j into 1 upon root 18. So like this way, you can find out the intersection of polar plot with any angle axis by using an angle condition.